Welcome to TeenYouthSummit-TV. I'm your host, Tony Randolph, here two of my amazing co-hosts,
Aaron Bell
and Tiffany J. May. And today we're here in Northeast Washington, D.C. at the Making Positive Choices Town Hall discussion hosted by Kaizen Life Skills Organization.
Today you're going to hear stories from the panelists. You're going to witness an amazing interview followed by some questions by the teen youth.
This is Teen Youth Summit.
Whispers on the wind, telling me whatever journey's end, a beginning. I listen to the rhythms of the stars above, they sing. Tell me that my life is just a part of everything.
I went to prison at 17 years old. And I'm going to come this hard because we don't have no time to play no games today. I went to prison at 17 years old for 2 attempted murders. I was sentenced to 20 years in prison. I did 12 years on 20 years. I came home in 2005 and I stayed on the streets for 6 years and I reoffended. I went back to prison for a drug conspiracy, federal drug conspiracy, and I did an additional 4 years. What I want, especially the females to know, because I see a lot of females, is that when I went to prison at 17 years old, my girlfriend at the time was pregnant. So she was pregnant and she gave birth to my child while I was in prison, and I did 12 years. So I went home, my son was 12 years old. I'm speaking to the women, the beautiful young women out here, because I want you to understand when you go out looking for a dope boy or somebody that's getting money, the other side of the game is when you got to sit home and deal with that baby by yourself. Same thing happened when I went to prison in 2011. My son was 1 year old. Federal conspiracy. My son's mom had to raise my son, I had him here last time, for 4 years by herself. These are the things, especially the young women, I want you to consider when we talk about making positive decisions. Making the right decision on your life. Trust and believe. You do not want to raise a child by yourself. Take your time. You don't have to rush into wanting to be a mother, wanting to be a parent. It's not a game. It's very expensive, to believe it or not.
Welcome back to Teen Youth Summit. I'm your host, Tiffany J. May, and I am standing here with a special guest, Tamaya Simmons. So Tamaya, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here today?
Well, I'm Tamaya Simmons. I go to McKinley Tech. I came here today to get educated by the inspirational panelists that have talked to us about their life choices and their decisions that they made. And I just came to be educated about what they're doing.
Okay, nice. So have you made any negative choices in your life that, that have affected your life?
Not really.
Not really. Good. So, but I know that you've probably had friends who have made some negative choices.
Yes.
Now, what made you take the path that you're on to not make those negative choices that you probably have seen, you know, from your friends and family members?
Well, my mom and my grandparents, and I had positive surroundings around me, so they always encouraged me to make the right decisions so I won't end up, you know, like them.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Okay, so what advice would you give to your peers, you know, that do make negative choices?
I would like tell them to actually come to the Teen Youth Summit to like get educated of why they should stop making the wrong decisions that they're actually making, so they can, you know, make the positive, you know, choices.
Right.
We all have an obligation, man. We all have to contribute to our own community, both men and women. And I need my young brothers to understand, going to prison is not a rite of passage. It don't make you tough to go to prison. I don't feel tough because I went to prison. I feel tough being in here speaking in front of you all, more tougher now than I did in prison. So when you hear your homies come home and they got all these prison stories, oh, I was in there, but I was doing that joint, kill more on everything. You know how we talk? Like they was walking the yard, eating commissary every day, all day, they welling. They lying to you. They was the same ones in there calling home to their parents, to their mother, basically to their mothers or their grandmothers, trying to get some money to go buy some commissary. Telling them lies, talking about they owe a dude some money and they gonna do something to them if they don't bring or if they don't send the money in. But you do not have to make those type of decisions. We here talking about making positive decisions. When your homie wanna go out and run up on something, that's your chance right there to make the right decision.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Y'all want these nice tennis shoes, these nice clothes. Y'all need to earn those things. No parent owes you nothing but a roof and some food, and to encourage you to do the right thing. A lot of youth today think we owe them something. I don't owe my kids nothing. You need to earn it. Amen. I'm a single mother. As long as I keep a roof over your head, some food, you good. Because the system you could be locked up and they could be taking care of you, which we take care of people in the system as well. Make right choices. I work in a level 5 school right now, high school. Kids are off the chain. They don't care. I'm everybody but my name. I'ma spit on you, I'ma do this, I'ma do that. But at the end of the day, my goal is to always return home to my family. So I'm going to protect myself. But I'm not going to protect myself, put my hand on guns, none of those things. You all have something, everybody has something positive. Even if it's negative, we can turn it into positive. I see some negative people, they just as loud, but they got leadership skills if I turn it to a positive. Because they get everybody to go with them. So I'm up in their ear like, get them to go with you in a positive manner. Not being loud and starting trouble. And what do we get out of starting trouble? Because eventually you all are going to be adults. And as parents, we're not going to be able to do anything, make no decisions for you. You're going to have to make your own decisions. And some of my decisions I made in life got me where I was, you know, with the men and having to struggle. I had to go down to get back up. And now recently I kind of took a fall backwards, but that's not going to stop me from getting back up. Go to school. Hang around positive people. Respect your parents. There's no hood. The hood is your motherhood. Your mother is your hood. Your dad is your hood. All those streets out there been there. They're going to be there. Do what you need to do for self. If you see your friends going the wrong way, it's all right for you to go the right way. Let them go. If they don't want to listen, they don't want to listen. Because I'm sure you can tell me that it wasn't fun being in handcuffs or being detained. So now you have a story to share with your peers to stay out of trouble. Because when you become an adult, you sitting down there at Central Cell with the roaches and stuff. My son told me the story. I said, oh, so did you learn anything from it? Yes, not to come back. I told him, because when you're adult and there's nothing I can do but come sit in the court building and you can see my sad face and my broken heart.
Right.
That's all you're going to get. But then you want to be calling me for money. I don't have it. Like he said, they in here, what y'all say, they welling. They ain't getting it like that in jail. They ain't doing none of that. They crime wolf. I got little girls that been detained for robbing people. Really? You 13 and you out here robbing people? If you're doing this at 13 and you're not trying to change, you're going to be sitting over in a ladies' prison somewhere. All they think about is fighting, fighting. Why are y'all so angry? That's the question I have. Why are the youth today so angry? Angry about what?
So tell our viewers who you are and where you're from.
Well, as said before, my name's Eric. I'm from Washington, D.C. and I attend McKinley Tech. I'm a 10th grader, and yeah.
Okay, and why is it so important to make positive choices in life?
Well, I strongly believe that you should make positive choices in life because it can greatly affect the future.
Good answer. And what are some negative choices that you made in your life that affected you and your life negatively?
Well, my laziness and stubbornness, being honest.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. And how do you turn those negative choices into a positive decision later on in life?
Well, being lazy and stubborn is not always a good thing, but it also turns into, you know, a good thing as its own because you gotta know when to just chill out, you know?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hi.
Okay. I want to start off by asking y'all to repeat after me. Let's say the decisions we make determines the quality of our life. Create the life you want. So you can stop living the one you hate. And I use them two quotes. My name is Corey, and I'm a CEO and founder of the Hope Foundation, Reentry Network, and the Just Do campaign. I got my kids back there. So, and I'm honored to be up here and just to share a little bit about me. I've been incarcerated 26 times. 26 times. In and out of jail. And it was all because I stopped selling drugs and I started to use drugs. And it really made me make a bad decision. So now when using drugs, you become addicted to some type of substance. You really become to make poor decisions because now you're relying on something to help you get high. So I started to make poor decisions and do all of these awful crimes only because I wanted to use drugs. Started smoking reefer. Okay, had to go back, right? Started smoking reefer, turned around, started smoking dust, started smoking PCP, started snorting powder cocaine, and I ended up smoking crack cocaine. And when I started to smoke crack cocaine, it took me on a world that I've never been on before. You know, I went to school. I graduated high school. I went to school for business management. I went to school for culinary. I went to school for plumbing. I was a special police. I was a manager for Millersfield Cookie Store. I ran 4 of her stores. I did all of this stuff, right? And still, crack cocaine would not let me be successful, right? And so, because I would continue to go back to jail every time I've used drugs. And so I would lose a job. I would lose my dignity. I lost my family. I had a young child. I lost my family. They moved away after my last incarceration. My daughter was 1 year old. I took them on a world that they never been on. And a lot of things happened in my life. I've been shot twice. I've been stabbed inches away from my lungs. I've been tied down, bounded in a chair. Somebody came in a crack house and robbed us, not knowing was I going to come out of that. You know, thank God. So my life today is a blessing, is because I'm still here. Right. I'm 48 years old. I know I don't look like it. I ain't got to say nothing.
It won't change until the men stand up, number one, and stop. And when these men are willing to challenge other men that are their friends, their co-workers, their bosses, to not keep doing it. We all have a role to play. You'd be amazed what your words can do. It's time to get off the sidelines. Go to nomore.org.
Welcome back to TeenYouthSummit-TV. I'm your host, Tony Randolph, and I'm here with this special guest and a parent. Please tell our viewers who you are and where you're from.
Hi, my name is Lisa Council, and I'm from Washington, D.C.
Now, Lisa, why is it so important to make positive choices in life?
Positive choices can take you a long way in life. If you start out negatively, unfortunately, negative behavior can come so easily, but it's hard to retract it.
Okay, and what are some of the negative choices that you made early on in your life that impacted you?
Some of the negative choices I made in my life was just I wanted to be a part of the cool crowd, and I wasn't true to myself. And it was much easier for me to not to be true to myself. And then unfortunately, I would see friends that would do the wrong things, such as smoke, drink. While I was never involved in those things, I would always end up in fights, and unfortunately that spilled over into my high school years. And then at some point in high school I decided, hey, this isn't the road for me. So I started to make positive choices, but unfortunately when we start out with the wrong choices, they follow us a long way.
And what advice would you give to a young person that's currently making negative choices about trying to make positive choices, but maybe don't have the outlet?
I would say surround yourself with a different group of people. 9 times out of 10 is probably just coming from peer pressure. So around yourself with a different group of people. Find someone that you can confide in and help you make positive choices. And also, more importantly, just be true to yourself and your worth.
And that's the current theme I've been hearing all day at this discussion. Stay true to yourself and don't be a follower. Now, what do you enjoy most about this panel discussion today?
The panel discussion, everyone had gone through their own unique set of adversities, but the one thing that was very touching for me is none of them gave up, and they found purpose out of their pain. And the other thing I find is that we as parents, we always try to get our children to not make the same mistakes that we've made in life, but sometimes it just has to come from another source. Kids aren't always able to relate to their parents for age differences, and they really don't see their parents as ever going through anything. And so it's important for organizations such as Kaizen Life Skills to help out in the community with kids, at risk kids or kids that are on the right path, to just keep them involved in these type of summits so that they can ultimately lead to success.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, thank you for joining us on TeenYouthSummit-TV. Thank you. We'll be right back with more great panel discussions and interviews. Stay tuned.
How many of you all think that you're different? I'm different. You know you're different? Anybody else in here different? Different? Different. Okay, well, I consider myself different. My name is Shauna. I was born and raised in D.C. I'm one of the females that didn't go to jail. I'm one of the females that the streets did raise. My mother was on drugs. I didn't know my father. My family was drug dealers, well known in the area. Got pregnant at 15 with my first child. Got pregnant at 17 with my second child. Because my family were drug dealers, I liked that lifestyle. I like money. I thought I was different, right? I wanted my hair done. I was flashy. Liked all the glitters and glamour and gold, right? But what I didn't know is that the streets you have a price to pay when you're in the streets. Things don't always go like we want them to go. We don't always associate ourselves with people that are good for us, even though they pretend that they are. But our real friends don't put us in situations to make bad choices and bad decisions. So not only do I now have 2 children at the age of 17, I also dropped out of school because I felt like I'm different. I got a baby now. I gotta work. I gotta do something to take care of these kids because I didn't want to be on welfare, but I was on welfare. I didn't want to be like my mother who left me for my grandparents to raise, who were old, and my aunt to help raise me, who didn't want to really have children, but she did what she could. So I wanted the dope boys. I went out, traveled, bought nice things. And what I didn't realize at the time was every time I did something, I was giving a piece of myself away. And so it came a point in time where I was just like, I want more out of life. I was tired of going to the clubs. I was tired of the drug dealers. I was tired of life, period. And I wanted something different. So I joined the church. I got saved, holy, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, hallelujah. And I thought that my troubles would go away. Everything would be different. Life will be easier. They say Jesus is everything, right? That's all I need. But my first year of being saved is when I actually went to jail. I used to actually go to church high. Off weed. But nevertheless, I went high. And I was trying to search for my purpose, and my church was in the hood, right in certain quarters. So I dealt with a lot of the youth that were not afraid to buck back at adults. I was challenged, right? Because I have 2 children that are teenagers, and then I'm dealing with these youth, and I'm trying to find my purpose, and I'm trying to find my way, and I've been locked up, and I've done all of these things, and now I'm learning about God, and I'm learning about myself. And I'm learning about my self-worth. This is how God sees us, right? Pure, clear. And when we really have an understanding of who we are in life. I heard everybody say that, you know, we make mistakes. I really don't consider them as mistakes. It's only mistakes if you haven't learned from them. Because then you do them over and over and over and over and over and over again until you get it. And it's okay if we don't get it at first, because we don't get it at first, right? But eventually, you have to start seeing yourself as valuable. You have to start seeing yourself as pure. Even the men. I know a lot of times we talk to the ladies, right? Because we bear children. But men, you are pure too. You are kings. You are pure, right? So when you become to know who you are, you may not know what you want out of life, but when you just know that you are worth something, certain things you will not allow to happen. Every decision we make starts in the mind. If we think it, we speak it. And then it becomes us. And it's easy for us to speak negative things because that's all we see, right? But sometimes we gotta change what we see when we look in the mirror.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Only thing I'm asking of you all, you're my team, is the future is on you all. We have already walked it. We're just trying to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that we made. I've been in a lifestyle that, y'all seen American Gangster? With Denzel Washington? Y'all seen it? I was in that life. Uncle was a kingpin. It's about choices. And with those choices, there are consequences, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. I made a choice. I'm not going that way. Y'all gonna have to make choices. When you make that choice, can you say to yourself, can you live with the consequences? When you make that choice, you decide you want to go down 7-Eleven and shoplift, can you deal with the consequences? Ain't nobody's fault but yours. Don't be a follower, be a leader. All right? Patricia said something. Everybody you say is your friend, if they're your friend, they shouldn't take you down the wrong path. Control your own destiny.
There's a lot of hidden dangers out there in cyberspace. Never put your personal information online unless you ask your parents and they say that it's fine. Before you log on, don't be hasty. Please be smart with online safety. Stop and think before your connection. Use these steps for your protection. Online safety.
Stop. Think.
Connect.
Thank you all to the parents that have come here and brought their kids and invested their time, or even sent their kids. The ones that aren't here that sent their kids and made them come. I know I tell your mother you did. All right. And last but not least, it's two not last but least, but I'd like to thank you youth that came. Whether it's all about you. Y'all step around with y'all. And also thank you to Old Save Art and Grind and DCTV.
Welcome back to 10 Youth Summit. I'm your host, Tony Randolph.
I'm your co-host, Aaron.
And I'm Tiffany J. May.
And this concludes this episode of 10 Youth Summit, Making Positive Choices. So what do you guys think about today's show?
Oh, I absolutely think that it was a phenomenal program. I think that our youth got a lot out of it. I liked what I heard, the questions that they asked. I liked what I heard from the panel. You know, they were very positive. They were very transparent about their lives and what they've gone through, and making a positive impact from their personal stories. So it was a phenomenal program.
Okay, and Aaron, what is your impression of today's panel discussion?
Awesome, inspiring to hear these people's stories. Of course, mine to tell these kids, never give up, keep following your dream. This is always something to hope for and look for in life, versus doing negative stuff in life.
Okay, but for example, I know you said you had you made some negative choices early on in your life.
Right.
What do you do to turn those negative choices into positive decisions?
We all got a story. So if your story don't motivate you, then it's something wrong with that situation. So I use my own story to motivate myself, to tell myself where I came from and where I'm at now. And I would never go back to where I came from, because it's not a good feeling. So in order to keep going, I got to keep telling myself, this is my story, and this is where I'm at. In order to get to where I got to keep pushing and make myself get there. Nobody's going to do it for me.
Absolutely. Until next time, I'm Tony Randolph.
And I'm Tiffany J. May.
And I'm Aaron Bell.
Peace.